my fellow Potterheads. This is my first video. Don't get confused now, because in my future videos you'll only see me with glasses on, but the lenses in my glasses are currently getting swapped because I didn't see right anymore, so yeah, I actually can't really see anything right now, but I'll try. Today we're going to talk about the first book, or the first movie, well, about the Philosopher's Stone. Of course we all know the Philosopher's Stone. I'll talk about what I liked about the book, what I liked about the movie, what I liked about the movie, and we'll talk about the differences between book and movie. So I look like I'm naked under there. Don't worry, it's just a strapless bra. Yeah. This book is the first book of a wonderful, wonderful series. I do have to admit that I first watched the movies before I started reading the books. I guess I was 8 or 9 years old when my mother came up to me and said, "Hey, watch this, you'll like this." And then she showed me the first Harry Potter movie, and I immediately loved it. And back then, the first, the second and the third movie were already out, and I think the fourth movie had just started in the cinemas or something. Yeah, I immediately loved it, and I watched all three. At the beginning I really loved the first one, because the third one kind of scared me because of the Dementors. But yeah, I read the books later on in German, because I'm from Germany, of course, and right now I'm rereading them in English. I already read the first one, I already read the second one, and I'm currently in the middle of the third one. My mother bought me the English ones for my birthday half a year ago. I know 2.5 books in 1 year is not, in half a year is not really much, but well, most of the time I'm reading when I'm traveling, and most of the time I'm just traveling to my boyfriend because we have a long distance relationship. So when I'm in the train, I read most of the time. When I'm at home, I don't really read. I don't know why. It's nothing that pops into my head when I'm bored, because when I'm bored I do other things like writing fan fictions myself or things like that. Yeah, the first book, of course, for those who only saw the movies, this is something that is not in the movie. We start with the Dursley family, a seemingly normal day in the Dursley family, where Dudley Dursley I think he learned the new word when Dudley Dursley came back from work. Dudley Dursley is throwing his breakfast around, which Petunia, who is, by the way, blonde in the books, finds very cute, and Uncle Vernon for some reason finds it cute as well. Then Uncle Vernon goes to work, and he sees very much strange clothed people with, robes and pointed hats, and he sees very a whole lot of owls everywhere, and after a while he becomes concerned that this could have to do something with his wife's abnormal sister and family, because his wife's sister is a witch. She married a wizard, and together they have a wizard son named Harry. I think it's sad that they didn't take this in the movies, because I can really imagine Uncle Vernon's shocked face when he heard one of the wizards hear the name, hear them say the name Harry or Potter. I think they just said Potter. Yeah, I think that's they should have filmed that as well. Maybe they did and just didn't take it in the end. But yeah. In the Philosopher's Stone we still had the old Dumbledore. I do have to admit that I like Michael Gambon better in the role of Dumbledore, but of course our first Dumbledore was a great Dumbledore as well. When I watched the first Harry Potter movie, I immediately liked Dumbledore. I can really imagine Dumbledore as a very, very sweet person, very likable person. Whenever I read one of the Harry Potter books, I think that J.K. Rowling is a very good writer, and she does something what other people can't do. She can skip times, you know, there are chapters which go from autumn to winter in only about 5 pages. But she kind of, there's no stop with it. It's just, it's flowing. There's no where you think it's suddenly a hop from one week to the other. She's really talented in that. I noticed that in all the other books as well. I think it's sad that Peeves is not in the movies. I will probably say that with each and every book and film I'm talking about, because I think Peeves is rather important actually, because in the second book, we'll have that in the next video, but in the second book he smashes the vanishing cabinet, which is important once again in Half-Blood Prince. Yeah, we don't in the movie it's also not we don't see that Draco and Harry actually had met before they arrive at Hogwarts. And Harry had disliked him before. And what I think of really sad is in each and every movie there's only one game of Quidditch, which doesn't actually make sense, because every house is playing against every house. So in the first film we only saw Gryffindor versus Slytherin, but Gryffindor also played against Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw. And also in Harry's second match, I think Severus Snape was referee, because yeah, I think that's rather important because Harry was, in the book, he was so scared because Snape was going to be referee, and he was so scared because at that point he still thought that Snape was the one who had bewitched his broom at his first match, where he almost fell off, when it was actually Quirrell. I hope I'm not spoiling anyone here, because I hope all of you already read the books, or at least watched the movies. Well, is there anything negative to say about the books? Well, it's maybe a bit unlogical that when Hagrid burst into that little hut that the Dursley family and Harry had hidden in, I think I wouldn't have just so easily believed that really huge guy. Although he made fire with his umbrella. Compared to all of the other books, it's really cute how innocent the first book is, because there are so many things. There are no brutal things, although Harry had been in the movie there was just fire around Harry, so he couldn't escape, but in the book there were ropes so he couldn't even move, which was kind of brutal, which was maybe the reason why they changed it in the film. Well, the actors and how they played their roles in the first movie. Well, as I said, I really liked Dumbledore. Dumbledore was a very kind and sweet person, and I think I'm sorry, I don't know how the first the actor's name was, the one who died after the second movie, but I think he was a very sweet Dumbledore. He did that very well, and I think I read one time that he only accepted the role because his granddaughter said she wouldn't talk to him anymore if he wouldn't accept. Daniel Radcliffe is a very, very talented actor. Even back then, I think they couldn't have found a better Harry Potter. Looking at Emma Watson in her role as Hermione Granger in the first movie, it's incredible how beautiful she is now compared to, well, what a cute little child she was. I think Rupert Grint is the only one who's still looking the same. A bit hotter, but still looking very alike. Very alike his old self. I think they found very good actors. Especially, of course, the best actor they could have ever found is Severus Snape's actor, because, wow, I couldn't imagine anybody else but Alan Rickman for that role, because that guy is so creepy. I do have to admit that I hated Snape until Half-Blood Prince. I really hated Snape. After Half-Blood Prince, I hated him even a bit more. But, well, I probably would have hated him a bit more, but when Half-Blood Prince was in the cinema, I had already read the... Had I? I think I hadn't. I think I had already read the 7th book then. But I don't remember right now, because I remember that Deathly Hallows came out the very same time when the book, I mean, when Half-Blood Prince was in the cinemas, but here in Germany. But I don't remember if it was the English book that came out the very same time, or the German one, or if they came out kind of really close to each other. I think I had already read it, so I knew why Snape killed Dumbledore. Spoiler alert. Yeah. I also think it's pretty sad that they didn't show that much of Uncle Vernon's panic when the letter of Hogwarts arrived, because in the movie it's just they're first at home getting molested a bit by the letters, and then they immediately go there where this little hut in the middle of the sea on this rock. But in the book they're driving to several other places. They're also in a hotel, or was it a motel? And Uncle Vernon is driving like crazy just to shake them off, so they won't be able to follow them, the wizards. But I think his name was Richard. I think Richard was very good in Uncle Vernon's role. R.I.P. here. He was a very good actor as well. I feel like I do have to criticize a bit as well, because you can't just say anything, just only positive things about a book. So, yeah, maybe it was a bit obvious that Harry would attend the Quidditch team in such a young age. If I had been J.K. Rowling, I would probably have just having be Seeker in his second year, because, as we all know, there hadn't been a Seeker this young in 1 century. It's also very sad that in the movie there's this Norbert storyline isn't even in there. We know Hagrid had a dragon's egg, but we didn't. In the film, we didn't see that. Harry, Hermione, and Neville, actually. Ron wasn't even with them. They had been wandering around the castle, climbing up to the astronomy tower to set Norbert free there. Well, not really set him free, but give him to Charlie, Ron's brother, who's in Romania. Also, when they're in the Forbidden Forest, this is actually a punishment for wandering around the castle in the middle of the night because of this thing with Norbert. They changed this. I think that's sad, because if they had stick to the book, we would have seen more of Neville, because in the book it's Neville, Draco, Hermione and Harry wandering around the Forbidden Forest and looking for the dead or the wounded unicorn. All in all, now that I reread the book, because when I read the book in German, that's quite a long time ago, now whenever I watch the first movie, I just sit there and think, oh wait, that was different in the book, that was different as well, and there's something missing. But it's still, of course, a very great movie, and it was my favorite movie until I wasn't scared of the Dementors anymore, because then it was the third one. And now it's still, sometimes it's the third one, sometimes it's the sixth one. Yeah. So that was the first book. In my next video I'll talk about the the second one, and I'll talk about different characters. I'll talk about Harry Potter fanfictions, I'll talk about the houses, I'll talk about pairings, I'll talk about non-canon pairings, I'll talk about canon pairings, and stuff like that until I'm done with every book, so I can review the books as well. I would like comments, and I'm very sorry if I did any grammatical mistakes, because as I said, I'm from Germany, but oh well. See ya!